Hey guys, it is me again, as you all can probably see. Uh, Today is Sunday, November the 7th, 2010. That makes it day 311 on our Project Jesus 365. I finally updated my calendar over here, so I don't have to sit and take my shoes off and add it up on my fingers and my toes. So, uh, yeah. Uh, let's see, guys. It is glad to have you all. It is glad. I am glad to have you guys here as usual. I hope it's warmer where you guys are at. I tell you, we had a cold one here today. I don't think it ever got over about 42, maybe 43 degrees here today. I tell you, man, when it first starts getting cold, and I guess we've been, even up in October, we were still having 75 and 80 degree days. And now it's just pretty much just hit us all at once. And I guess that's what makes it worse. So, I went out 2 or 3 times today to maybe try to reload some stuff, make some bullets, and just do some stuff, clean some cases or whatever. And just every time I'd go out there, for one thing, and that's what me and Dad were talking about. I'm gonna try to save up the money within the next couple of weeks to do it. Or my garage out here don't have any ceiling in it. It just goes all the way up to the roof, and I've just got an old furnace out of like a 5 ton heat pump furnace, the furnace part of it out there. And I've only got one of the heating elements hooked up in it to try to not pull too much power. So anyway, it has to run all the time to try to keep it warm. And I'm just losing all my heat right out the top. And me and Dad were talking about that. We're going to try to within the next couple of weeks. We've got some material out here to put the roof with, or to put a ceiling in. We're just going to use a little thin, like I think it's 1/8 inch Luan they call it. We're just going to basically put it up there and then put some insulation on top of it. Try to get a little bit of a ceiling put in there for me, so I can stay warm. Because today, even with it just right around 40 degrees, the heat was having to run all the time to just keep it about 65 degrees. So I never did get in. I went out there 2 or 3 times going to start, and I just never did get into the groove of it. And I was tired. I stay so tired on Sundays. I just never did do it. So maybe my chronograph will be here this week. Well, it should be here this week. It should be here by Tuesday. So I'm going to try to get some bullets tested. I'm trying to work up a load for those odd bullets I bought, those Nosler bullets. So maybe I may film it, guys, and I may not. We'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, it is good to have you guys here today. I had a good church service today, really did. Normal deal. Had about 30 people, I guess. Had a really good time, though. That's the important part. Had a really good time in the Lord. Had the Spirit moving. Well, I guess we didn't have the Spirit moving. The Spirit moves on it. The Spirit moves when it wants to move. But we were lucky enough to be there when it moved. So thank the Lord for that. Anyway, guys, let's see. What else? Oh, yeah, I wanted to, before I get too far along into it, guys, I had some people, I made my video showing what it takes to get your concealed weapons license in Kentucky. And I had 2 or 3 people, because a lot of the guys were doing this, 2 or 3 people just wanted to see my license, see what it looked like, I guess if it looked like theirs. And I didn't want to make a separate vid to do this. So I'm going to do it on this vid, and if I get enough requests, I may make a separate one, because I know not all my gun people watch my scripture readings. But I had somebody too, and brother, if you watch this, I don't remember the name of your channel, but I had somebody leave a comment on my video that I made, real polite and real nice about it, and I'm glad they were like that. And like I said, if you watch it, I'm glad you were like that. Just kind of correcting me, saying, well, it's not a concealed. I called it a concealed deadly weapons permit, and they said, well, it's not a. It's actually just considered a concealed weapons permit. And I figured, since I had to show this thing anyway, to because some people wanted to see it, I wanted to show you what it says on the Kentucky concealed deadly weapons license. I wanted to show that it does say deadly weapons on it. Should it? Probably not. You know, I do think that's just fuel for the liberal fire. But that's what it says. So I hope my camera will focus enough, guys, on it here that you guys can see it. I know I can see it good in my screen here, but now you may not be able to. But it does say Commonwealth of Kentucky concealed deadly weapons license. So, but, you know, like I said, I just called it what they call it. So anyway, and I just wanted you guys to see it. It's basically just like a driver's license. It says Commonwealth of Kentucky Concealed Deadly Weapons License. It's got my birth date on it, the expiration date, which is March of 2015. Thank the Lord it's a while off because I'd forget it. And it's just got my name and address on it in my picture, as you guys could see. So that's pretty much it. And like I said, I did want to show that it does say concealed deadly weapons on it. So that's it, guys, I guess, on that. Like I said, I'm going to try to get you guys some vids made this week. But, you know, like I said, guys, the weather here, the bottoms just fell out of it. You know, we had snow Friday. We had snow yesterday. You know, nothing stuck, nothing to amount to anything, but it did snow. And as most of you guys know, I'm a cold weather weenie. I don't like it. I hate it, as a matter of fact. I don't get out in it much. So unless the weather perks up this week and gets maybe in the 50s and 60s, and you know, you probably won't be seeing any videos. I'll probably have to make myself just get out there and use that chronograph if it's, you know, still like in the 40s or whatever. So but you never know. If I set everything up and get out there doing it, you know what more trouble is it just to pack a little camera, you know? So so you never know, guys. I'm gonna try to make those vids for you all. Anyway, let's see, guys. I guess that's all. I did want to apologize to you guys for I've not answered comments for the last 2 nights. As a matter of fact, I just now got done answering them all. I had to answer for day 309, 310, and then I had to answer a bunch of comments on on the concealed deadly weapons video, what I was talking about. And guys, just last night, you know, we set our clocks back last night, and I tell you, this new time too, just worse. I don't like it. So last night I ran out of time. I had to get into bed, and I just didn't answer them. So I'm sorry for you guys that, you know, if you see me go a day or two and not answer, you know, I'm just getting behind. And so I answered all of them tonight. I probably sat here for 35, 40 minutes, typing as hard as I could type, just answering comments, and had probably 10 new subscribers in the last 2 days, which is a big amount for me. So, you know, I went to their channels thanking them. So, anyway, guys, I guess that's got all the jibber jabber out of the way, so we'll get to the important part tonight. And that is, of course, and I guess you guys can see what I'm not actually watching it. That's, what is that called? The Mummy Returns, I think. That's an encore of it. They just got done showing it, and I watched parts of it. And, I don't know why they can't show just another good movie, you know, and I don't know why they have to show the same one back to back to back like that, but I guess if you miss it, that's alright. But anyway, guys, let's get to the important part. I'm getting off track here. Acts chapter 25, starting in verse 1. So here we go. Now when Festus was come into the province, after 3 days he ascended from Caesarea to Jerusalem. Then the high priest and the chief of the Jews informed him against Paul, and besought him, and desired favor against him, that he would send for him to Jerusalem, lay him wait in the way to kill him. Poor old Paul, guys. I tell you, sometimes you got to wonder if the Lord wasn't getting him back. I mean, he was using him for his service, and he was a servant. Sometimes you got to wonder if he wasn't getting back at him a little bit for, you know, doing what he done before he was you know, unrepentant, before he was, you know, saved. Verse 4, But Festus answered that Paul should be kept at Caesarea, and that he himself would depart shortly thither. Let them therefore, said he, which among you are able, go down with me, and accuse this man if there be any wickedness in him. And when he had tarried among them more than 10 days, he went down into Caesarea, and the next day, sitting on the judgment seat, commanded Paul to be brought. And when he was come, the Jews which came down from Jerusalem stood round about, and laid many and grievous complaints against Paul, which they could not prove. While he answered for himself, neither against the law of the Jews, neither against the temple, nor yet against Caesar have I offended anything at all. But Festus, willing to do the Jews a pleasure, answered Paul and said, Wilt thou go up to Jerusalem, and there be judged of these things before me? Then said Paul, I stand at Caesar's judgment seat, where I ought to be judged. To the Jews have I done no wrong, as thou very well knowest. Paul saying, I've not done anything wrong, and why should I have to go be judged before the Jews? I'm a Roman. I'm being judged in a Roman court. I tell you guys, they just never gave Paul any rest. They were always attacking him. But really, I was talking about Paul there. Really, when we're doing a good job for the Lord, we're going to be attacked like this. I mean, maybe not to Paul's extent, but we're going to get attacked. That's the reason I always say, and he's always right. Brother Jeff, him and Caroline, they get attacked. They're probably the most hated Christians on YouTube because they tell the truth. They don't hold any punches. They just, and that's the way we're going to be. I'm not saying we're all going to get attacked to the level that Paul did, or even to the level that Jeff and Caroline do. But when we're preaching the word of the Lord and we're telling the truth, we're going to get people mad at us. We're going to get family members when we tell them that they're that they need to change, or when we have people. And that's one thing I was preaching on today about when you get saved. How you become a new creature, and old things are gone. New things. We just become a new creature. All things are renewed, and I kind of got mixed up there, guys, on what I wanted to say. Actually, what I was wanting to say was I was talking about too, as I was preaching on this, I was talking about people that claim to be Christians and are not, and talking about all the people that claim to be Christians and think they're going to heaven, and they're not. And I think that's sad to see people doing that, seeing people thinking they're going to heaven and they're not. So I think we need to tell people when we see people, not doing it, just not, just not hitting the mark, not making the grade. As real Christians, are we still going to mess up? We're going to mess up every day. We're going to mess up, miss the mark. But you can tell a difference in a true Christian that just messes up, and someone that's unrepentant and not saved. You can. If you got any discernment at all, you can. Anyway, guys, getting off on another tangent there. Thank you guys for being here. I've already been here too long. Matter of fact, I may have been here way too long. Good Lord willing, I'll be here tomorrow night. Pray for me, guys. Pray for my work this week. Like I told you yesterday, I got some situations going on there. I'll let you know maybe tomorrow or maybe by Wednesday anyway how that's going. God bless you guys, and I love you all. Till I see you again. Good night, and God bless.